right, we have one more selection. It is the very last one. I'm covering it up, but if you guys
LeBron
get this
James.
wrong, okay, I'll
Come on,
I'm about to say LeBron James.
Come on. Like, we're not, come
James.
on, LeBron is.
He ain't fooling nobody.
Yeah, nobody. What is this, 23? Oh, my goodness.
22nd consecutive NBA All-Star.
LeBron James just punched another ticket to the All-Star game. And let's not pretend this one was deserved. This wasn't a reward for dominant play. It felt more like a ceremonial nod, a thank you card for past greatness. While other players were out there night after night earning their spot the hard way, the league still made room to tack another honor onto LeBron's legacy. And then, like clockwork, he pulls out at the 11th hour. Cue the vague injury announcement that somehow only surfaces after the selection is finalized. Amazing timing. He walks away with the recognition, skips the responsibility, and the resume still gets polished. Same routine every time. This all-star selection isn't just questionable, it's laughable, and the evidence is impossible to miss.
Part of you that regrets never doing it, and with a procession of people maybe saying they might do it, would it propel you to give it a chance at next year's All-Star game?
Nah, there's no part of me that have regrets about not doing it. Obviously, I had a couple moments where I wanted to do it, and it just never worked out that way going into the following season either because of injuries or I wasn't up for it.
This isn't about feelings, it's about logic. Strip away the hype and ask the only question that matters. Is LeBron James actually performing like an all-star right now? Or is the league once again mistaking name value for on-court impact? Let's be honest instead of polite. LeBron didn't belong in this year's all-star field. It wasn't even a borderline case, but the NBA, with Adam Silver at the wheel, will bend over backwards to keep stacking honors onto LeBron's legacy. And then comes the routine everyone sees coming. Back out of the game, hold on to the selection, and sidestep the moment where the play has to match the praise. He still gets to say he was chosen without ever stepping between the lines. That's the formula. What makes it worse? The 2026 All-Star picks were already on shaky ground before this ever happened.
Another deflection by Şengün. Picked up by Van Vliet. He gets it back. Oh my goodness, the soft and
And LeBron backing out didn't just raise eyebrows, it pulled the curtain back on how hollow this whole thing has become. All-Star Weekend is hanging on by a thread. The dunk contest is basically extinct because nobody wants to risk their brand. The skills challenge feels like filler. And the Sunday night game, no edge, no urgency, no pride. Calling it competition is being generous. And let's be real, this era helped set that tone. When the league's biggest star treats the event like it doesn't matter, that attitude trickles down fast. Everyone follows suit, but here's the part that actually matters. This wasn't just about LeBron getting picked. That selection cost someone else a spot. Someone who actually earned it. The Western Conference is loaded right now. Legit numbers, real influence on winning, night-to-night impact, and still, multiple players were squeezed out so the league could justify including a 41-year-old posting barely positive impact metrics. The first name that jumps off the page is Alperen Şengün. He made his first All-Star team last season, and somehow took a step forward this year with the Rockets. Better production, stronger impact, team moving in the right direction, and none of that was enough. Explain how that adds up.
The defensive player of the year. Yeah, he might miss a wide open layup, but he's also going to block shots. And okay, Julius Randle. Randle's got it.
Alperen Şengün is putting up 21 points, 9 boards, and 6 assists per game, plus 1.4 steals a night. And that's just the surface. Zoom out and it gets even more ridiculous. He ranks second in the entire NBA in double-doubles. Not just among bigs, not just in the West, across the whole league. Now add the context everyone keeps glossing over. The Houston Rockets aren't sneaking by. They're one of the top teams in the Western Conference right now. This is winning basketball with real influence attached to it. By any metric that actually matters, Şengün is checking every all-star box, and yet he still didn't get the call. Why? Because the league had to make room. Every year, one spot gets reserved. Not for performance, but for legacy. And once again, that space belonged to LeBron.
The all-star reserve list is out or whatever. Kawhi Leonard somehow, some way, is not going to be in the All-Star game, which is just mind-boggling. And, of course, people are making the comparison that his numbers are way better than LeBron's. He's played in more games than LeBron, all those things. It's his home arena, the Intuit Dome, and somehow in Los Angeles. Don't forget, Kawhi is from Los Angeles, too.
Riverside to be exact.
Exactly, right? And he's not going to be a part.
Then you look at Julius Randle in Minnesota, and this one's almost unbelievable. He's putting up 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists a night. And here's the part nobody can twist. He hasn't missed a single game all season. Not one. You know what All-Stars are supposed to do? Show up. Randle does it every night. Meanwhile, LeBron's season is managed like a priceless exhibit behind glass. Guys like Shannon and Randle actually check every All-Star box. Steady availability, real production, winning impact. The only thing they don't have, the last name James and a built-in online mob ready to explode. And let's be honest, who's going to raise hell if they get left out? Exactly. That's the core problem. The All-Star game has turned into a popularity vote, not a reward for performance. Now let's talk about Los Angeles, because this is where the league really embarrassed itself. Kawhi Leonard is having a flat-out career season, 27.7 points per game, the highest of his career on ridiculous 50-40-90 splits. This is Toronto-level Kawhi showing up in LA. The Clippers are winning, Kawhi is dominating, and somehow he still gets ignored. And then there's James Harden, who, by the numbers and by impact, has also been better than LeBron this season.
If you do a quick Google search where you search LeBron James All-Star, the top search that comes right after that is, how did LeBron get in over Kawhi Leonard? Because if you mentioned it, Rob, you look down the stats, Kawhi Leonard has him beat on every major statistical category.
We're talking 25 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, top 3 in the entire league in assists. And when Kawhi Leonard was sidelined, Harden went nuclear for 55 in a single night. By every objective measure, he's playing better basketball than LeBron right now, and yet somehow he's the one left out. Why? Because the league couldn't afford to leave LeBron's name off the All-Star list. Marketing comes first. Take your pick, Kawhi or Harden. Either choice makes the decision look bad. There's no argument where LeBron deserves that spot over either of them. They've been sharper, more impactful, and far more reliable when it comes to actually being on the floor, but neither one is named LeBron James. So neither one got the call. That's not what All-Star selection is supposed to be, but under Adam Silver, that's exactly how it plays out. And here's the number that completely shatters the case for LeBron this season. 23 players in the NBA are averaging 22 points per game or more, right in the same scoring range as him. So if scoring is the defense, it doesn't hold up, not even close.
Obviously setting the table, but guess what? He can set his own plate as well. Gets in there and takes the contact.
Out of those 23 players scoring at that level, 17 were named All-Stars. Translation, if you put up those numbers, history says you usually get in. Now here's where it turns ugly. Of the 6 players who didn't get selected despite hitting that scoring threshold, 5 play in the Western Conference. Let's call them out properly. Kawhi Leonard, Lauri Markkanen, James Harden, De'Aaron Fox, and Julius Randle. Every one of them checks the boxes. Elite production, competitive teams, real night-to-night influence, and every single one was left on the outside looking in. Why? Because the league needed to reserve a chair for LeBron James, even though he's not performing anywhere near their level, and the impact data makes this decision look even worse. Let's talk plus minus, the simplest way to measure how a team performs with a player on the floor. Markkanen, positive. Kawhi, plus 11. Harden, plus 2. Randle, plus 1.5. Fox plus 0.8. Now look at LeBron, minus 2.6. That's not a typo. The Lakers are statistically worse when he's playing. So let's strip this down to the facts. 5 Western Conference players are scoring at elite levels, winning games, and posting better impact metrics than LeBron. And yet, only one name got the All-Star spot. If you're still following this breakdown, buckle up, because it gets even messier. Every one of those guys is playing more games than LeBron. They're available more often. They're contributing more to winning. And still, they get nothing while LeBron gets the nod. That math doesn't add up. Unless you accept one uncomfortable truth, LeBron's All-Star selections no longer hinge on basketball performance. People love reaching for the lazy comparison to Michael Jordan with the Wizards. Jordan got legacy All-Star picks too. That argument collapses the second you actually look at the numbers. Let's go straight to 2002, when Jordan was 38 years old in Washington. Before the All-Star break, he averaged 25.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. That season, only 2 players in the entire NBA were averaging 25 points and 5 assists. Jordan ranked 7th in the league in scoring. The Wizards were 26 and 21, and Jordan Jordan missed one game. That's not nostalgia. That's legitimate all-star production. Now the impact metrics. Jordan's plus-minus, +3. His net rating, +1.4. The Wizards were better when he was on the floor. Compare that to LeBron today, -2.6 plus-minus, -2.1 net rating. Read that again. Jordan at 38 made his team better. LeBron at 41 makes his team worse. Those are facts, not opinions, not storylines, not narratives. The only true ceremonial all-star selection Jordan ever received was 2003, his final season. Everyone knew he was retiring. It was a farewell tour. The league was saying goodbye to the greatest ever, and even then, at 40 years old, Jordan was still productive. Just not at his elite 2002 level. Here's the difference nobody wants to say out loud. Jordan told the world it was his last season. LeBron hasn't said a word. As far as anyone can tell, he plans to keep playing next season, and probably the one after that, basically until the checks stop clearing. So let's stop pretending this is some kind of goodbye tour. It's not. If you want honesty instead of nostalgia, stay locked in. So what's actually going on here? LeBron has figured out how to work the system, and he's perfected it. He keeps dropping subtle hints that this might be his final all-star appearance without ever saying he's done. That's the move. It creates emotion without accountability. People start thinking, what if this is the last one? And suddenly nobody wants to be the person who leaves him off the list. Perfect scenario. He gets selected, the resume gets another line added, and then he either jogs through the game at half speed or backs out at the last minute with a conveniently timed injury. He's been running this play for years. This time though, it was especially ugly. Reports say Adam Silver wasn't even told until the final hour. No window to name a replacement. No opportunity for someone else to get rewarded. That means LeBron held onto a roster spot that belonged to someone else, right up until it was too late, and then walked away from it. That's not leadership, that's selfish. If he knew he wasn't going to play, and let's be real, he almost certainly knew well in advance, the right move was simple. Decline the selection early. Let another player have that moment. Let someone else be recognized. But that's never been the approach. LeBron takes every honor available, whether it's earned or not, even when it blocks someone more deserving from getting acknowledged. And here's the irony nobody wants to confront. The longevity argument his fans always lean on actually works against him now. Yes, 23 seasons sounds incredible. Until you realize the last stretch has been more about collecting paychecks and accolades than delivering elite basketball. He's like the employee who's been around forever and keeps getting promoted off seniority instead of results. Eventually, longevity stops being admirable and starts looking like refusal to step aside. If you're still here for the unfiltered version, stay with me, because this is where it all comes together. Michael Jordan knew when to walk away. Kobe Bryant knew when it was time to hang it up. Every true great eventually understands when the run is over and leaves with dignity. LeBron has chosen the opposite path. He's clinging to relevance by pressuring the league into handing him honors he no longer earns. And the standard he's helped set for the NBA's All-Star Weekend is flat out embarrassing. Look around, the dunk contest is lifeless because stars won't touch it, and LeBron never did, so why should anyone else? The All-Star game itself has no intensity, no pride, no real competition. It's a glorified scrimmage. LeBron's teams treated it that way for years, and the rest of the league followed suit. All-Star selections are now driven by name recognition instead of merit, brand value over basketball. Every major flaw with the modern All-Star Weekend traces back to one thing: LeBron's influence and the NBA's refusal to hold him to the same standard as everyone else. LeBron didn't just take advantage of the system, he helped redesign it, and this year's All-Star selection, despite clearly not being earned, is just the latest proof. The advice for LeBron is straightforward. Walk away sooner rather than later. Every extra season at this level chips away at what he built. Every all-star nod he doesn't deserve cheapens the award itself. Every night playing below his old standard reminds people that the version they're watching isn't the legend they remember. Stepping aside now would protect what remains of his legacy, but that's not going to happen. Why? Because he's fixated on stacking accolades and staying visible. He'd rather collect hollow honors and drag down team impact than acknowledge that the era has passed. That's not someone preserving the game. That's not someone guarding a legacy. That's someone clinging to relevance at any cost. And this all-star label isn't just about this season. Fine, it's about a trend of the several recent years where LeBron made the cut based on name recognition instead of on-court results. This is a pattern, one where the NBA shields a single legacy while players who actually earned the spot get pushed aside. If you want basketball discussion without the nostalgia filter, stick around, because this conversation isn't going anywhere. All-star selections don't carry the same weight anymore. Everyone knows it. Too many players are getting an off reputation instead of production. And LeBron James being an all-star in 2026 is the perfect snapshot of everything broken in the league's decision-making. Merit doesn't matter. Current performance doesn't matter. Impact on winning doesn't matter. What does matter is protecting LeBron's brand, squeezing out every last accolade before he finally steps away. And players like Alperen Şengün, Julius Randle, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden are the collateral damage of that priority. LeBron gets another all-star selection he didn't earn, pulls out with a conveniently timed injury, and multiple players who actually deserved recognition get nothing. That's not random. That's a system deliberately protecting one legacy at the expense of the rest of the league. The NBA's obsession with shielding LeBron has hollowed out what being an all-star is supposed to represent. And fans aren't clueless. They see it. If you think LeBron is a fake all-star at this stage, drop your take in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and stick around for more honest basketball talk. I'm out. Catch you in the next one.